So this all starts back in April of this year. And I was up at my parents' house, just visiting my parents. And in the garden, my parents have this little like compost heap, where they throw all the kind of food scraps and stuff, which is then used to fertilize the plants. And in that patch, I saw this little kitten, and I was so excited. One of the neighbours has got a kitten. Awesome. Noticed that it was a Manx cat, with a tiny little tail, and thought, oh, cute. Anyway, she was eating this little like half decomposed mouse, basically. But I thought, cats, they're crazy. They'll eat whatever, right? And it was only the next day when I saw her still there that I was like, you know what? She doesn't need to be eating compost. I'll invite her over, give her a couple of treats because I like cats. Then when she came over, I saw that she was tiny, but like skinny. And I sat with her for a bit, and as I was sitting with her, I realised that her tail, she's not a Manx cat, that her tail was severed, and it was actually bleeding onto the floor. So obviously at this point I realised, well, this cat's not okay and something needs to be done. So I went around all the neighbours and I asked them, like, do you know this cat? Have you seen her about? Like, is she your cat? And nobody answered, or nobody knew about her, I should say. So obviously the next thing to do was I kind of took her down to the vet. And I remember the first thing they asked me was like, do you want a cat? And I knew the subtext of that was, realistically, they're going to have to probably put her down if she doesn't have an owner. Which, that alone, broke my heart. Look, get her anything she needs, get her all the surgeries and stuff and everything she needs, and that way at least the RSPCA and the cat shelter can take her, because they can't take her in the state that she's in. She needed hundreds of pounds worth of operations at this point. So we said, you know what, get her the help she needs, and then then she's got a chance, right? So that was the aim. And I remember I was carrying helping my dad move something into the house, and I kept getting these phone calls from the vet, and the first one was, okay, well, we think we'll spay her at the same time because she's under the anaesthetic. Is that okay? And I was like, yeah, it's okay, crack on. Then I get another phone call a couple of minutes later, and it's like, not only has something or someone ripped her tail off, she's also pregnant, which means that she's about a year old, and she weighed 1 kilo. So that's 2.2 pounds. She weighed 1 kilo. She fit in my hand. Tiny little thing. She was starving. She was pregnant. She had her tail ripped off. And, this poor little thing, just there, like, meowing on the table. You can tell, like, it gets me, like, the idea of how bad her situation had got. And she's just the cutest little kitty. And anyway, so she kind of went through all of this and came out the other side, and she had to have a wound cleared out on her arm. She had this scar coming down from her mouth. The top of her ear has been, got or whatever. She's missing a tail. She's had an abortion. She's been neutered. Like, she's really been through it. But she's on the road to recovery, right? Now, we got her home to my parents' house, and we just kind of released her in this little like gym area thing that my parents have got, and the first thing she did was wolf down a whole bowl of food, because the poor thing had been starving. And then she went and she hid immediately under the treadmill there. Which cats in a house, they do that, even the healthiest of cats, so thought not much of that. Until we come down the next morning and she hadn't moved at all. In fact, she'd weed a little bit in the same spot. That's how much she hadn't moved. And if anybody went near the treadmill, she'd hiss. She'd hiss at your hands, which is something she'd been doing the whole time. If you put a hand anywhere near her, she'd hiss at it. And my parents had been in a couple of times, but then, and this is kind of the most amazing part of the whole story, I think, or from my opinion, like, if you went near her, she'd hiss, but then I crouched down and I made eye contact with her, and immediately she did this little meow and just ran straight to me, and was kind of like, she came underneath my legs, and I remember my dad going like, wow, and that's the same I was thinking, because she hadn't moved at all. But as soon as I made eye contact with her, you know, I like to think that she knew that I was helping her, I was saving her, and she came and she sat with me, and you know, she had this little meow and gave her a couple of rubs, and it was like, you know, she knew that, oh, okay, things, you know, will hopefully get better from here. And yeah, I was hoping the same thing at that point. And there was a couple of other complications, you know, there's a few things after that many operations and that magnitude of operation, you know, there's certain nerve damage that could have been there. So we didn't know at that point whether she'd make it or not. But she had a day with a full tummy, and she got to lie in the sun. And I remember her lying in the sun out by the window and thinking, she's probably never had that opportunity to just lie around in the sun and just, you know, relax like cats should. And she probably never had that. But then she did. So I'm delighted to say that 6 months later, she's happy, she's a bundle of joy, she's just awesome. So I think we should meet her. And here she is, Atte the rescue kitty. So the one thing hasn't changed since I found her, and that's that she doesn't stop moving. You know, it's probably from when, you know, when she had to keep searching for food. She just doesn't stop moving. We've got a moment of her being still, but she's just lovely, happy, purry, excitable little kitty with a tiny little tail. Come on. So now she goes outside, she plays and everything. She's about 3.5 kilos. So she is still quite small in stature, but she's a very healthy weight. You know, the vets are all very excited about how, you see, she's moving, she won't stay still. But yeah, no, I'm just so happy with where she is, and she's just a great, you know, positive atmosphere around the house now, because she's gone from really being literally at death's door to now having everything a cat, you know, needs and wants. And yeah, it's just amazing. So I thought I'd share that story with you today, because it brings a lot of joy to me. So from me and Atte, thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.